Associate Education Minister Kelvin Davis came under fire earlier this month after an Auckland charter school accused him of favouritism. 11 schools are currently fighting to stay open after the new Minister Chris Hipkins signalled a plan to ditch the charter school model. Each has a deadline of April 1st, so what's that, a month away, to show they can transition, or they will be closed or integrated into the state system. The Villa Education Trust, which sponsors 2 charter schools in Auckland, lodged a formal complaint with the Ministry of Education about Mr Davis's visits to another charter school in his electorate, the Te Kapehu Whetu. It said Mr Davis had close personal ties to the Whangarei school and his visit was a conflict of interest. Checkpoint wanted to spend the day at Te Kapehu Whetu to see what a day is like at a charter school. We were all set to go when our visit was cancelled. Like that. But the Villa Education Trust's South Auckland Middle School was keen to host us. So we went to have a look. Our reporter John Boynton and our cameraman Nick Monroe with a day at the South Auckland Middle School.
How would you describe or define or give a meaning for a moment?
South Auckland Middle School Principal Wendy Gregg is in her element, teaching English in front of a class of 15 Year 8 students. The class is reading the book The Human Circus, and she's asking them about what a moment in time means to them.
We all have moments like this.
But this school is dealing with its own moment in its short history, a fight to secure its future. It's a fight it's not facing alone. 10 other charter schools around the country are also facing uncertainty after the government announced they would have their contracts terminated. Wendy Gregg says she's not worried.
I don't believe they've said that there'll be a termination of contract per se. I think there will be negotiation and transition, and I believe that our school speaks for itself and our community speaks for itself, and that will have a really positive outcome.
South Auckland Middle School is run by the Villa Education Trust, which runs 2 other middle schools in Auckland. It leases buildings inside the well-manicured grounds of the Elim Church facility at Manurewa, a reflection of its Christian leanings. The school has no infrastructure, instead relying on community facilities like the local park, pool and recreation centre. Alan Paul is the academic advisor for the Villa Education Trust and allowed Checkpoint inside for the day. The school day starts at 8:30 in the morning and finishes at 3:15 in the afternoon.
We have 15 children in our classes. We split the day and have an academic morning which has 3 of their core classes plus an independent time where they work on project work and output skills that's set for them. We have an arts, music, sport and community learning based afternoon, and we work in villas of 60, so each villa is year 7, 8, 9 and 10.
Wait right there. If you call right now, not 1 but 2 bricks, 50% off. Yeah.
Students are making an ad selling a brick, a test of their use of persuasive language. Standing in front of an iPad camera, Year 8 student Solomon is taking centre stage, ready for his moment in the spotlight.
I want to be in the entertainment company, be like a famous as YouTuber, or maybe become a great New Zealand actor. Yeah, just make my family proud.
Former Otago Highlanders lock Filippo Levi has swapped the rugby paddock for the school's hallways in his role as community officer. He acts as the go-between for students, their families and the school.
A lot of them will come from the local area, so pretty much from the Manurewa, South Auckland area, so probably over 90% are Māori and Pacifica. So the backgrounds vary, so obviously a lot of them will have a lot of the mothers who are trying to raise a lot of their children, but they've probably got one parent that's working.
And his biggest job is making sure students turn up to school ready to learn.
We have the year 7s at the moment, so we have Tōtara year 7. So see, it's got all ticks there.
So that's a colour you like, the green?
That's a colour I like the colour. I like the greens. The greens, yeah, green, and it's got P for present. So pretty much everyone's here, 100% attendance.
For one lesson, students are testing model airplanes they've made for a physics class. It's a hands-on learning experience the students seem to embrace.
We're learning about forces, like lift, thrust, and like how the plane moves and different energies.
Year 9 student Jessica says the school provides an even playing field for students.
Because other schools you'd have to be like either really good at sports or really good in learning, you have to get scholarships. Schools like these provide students like us like free education, so it's very good.
In graphics class, students have just finished learning about vanishing points. Jasmine is in her first year at the school, meaning she's only been here a few weeks.
I feel like a lot more safer here and everything. I feel like I have more friends in that, and it feels a lot easier because in my old school I had lots of people in my class, and like in this class there's only 15, so I feel like the teacher gets more time with me to help me with my work. It feels like my family and my whānau here.
Alwyn Paul has fiercely defended the funding model and quality of charter schools.
Our policy is that our teachers are registered and qualified. We teach the New Zealand curriculum.
The school receives bulk funding, he says, which works out to around $10,000 per student a year. The school pays for the students' stationery and uniform, and there are no school fees. Alwyn Paul wants to be able to sing the same tune as a government. He says the Minister of Education, Chris Hipkins, visited the school last year when he was in opposition.
He asked a really insightful question, which was, okay, so you're really good now, this is a good school. How do you know, what are you going to do about being good in 5 years' time? The irony of that question is it now really depends on him.
Mr Paul feels the school is being backed into a corner by the Labour-led government.
We're in a really difficult situation that effectively the government is, trying to bully us into.
In its last Education Review Office report, Year 7 and 8 students were achieving at 72% at and above the old national standards in reading, 73% in writing and 70% in maths. Wendy Gregg says she's seen the huge changes students make at the school.
Coming to school for a start, wanting to come to school, wanting to learn, believing in themselves, going out into further schools and doing really, really well. More parent engagement in the school, in their education.
And she has full confidence in the path the school is taking.
I fully believed in the middle school model that we're running. Knew it would work, and it has. I knew there'd be some big challenges along the way and perhaps some criticism we might have to face.
The school has been given an April the 1st deadline to transition to become a designated character school. Mo te hōtaka o te ahiahi nei ko John Boynton aho.